Ryan Burke, also known as DaftPina Online, is known for doing critiques of online personalities of the animated variety. He has made a name for himself by analyzing and going over the history of artists on YouTube and Twitter alike. Daff is best known for his many tracer call-out videos in which he showcases an artist who traces artwork, in general, or in videos. He knows his fair share about what it's like to be a tracer, as he himself was once one, which he has since acknowledged many times in his videos and has grown past. Today, I will be analyzing Daff's latest work, Saturdays Off, and how it fares when critiqued in the same vein as he critiques other works. Saturdays Off animation was made mainly by Daff as a one-man team. Although it's noted in the credits that there was an animation supervisor and secondary animator. The animation was done mainly in After Effects by creating character rigs, which makes for a very stilted and robotic form of movement. Characters have very little emotion or difference in expression, with only 3 different face movements: eyebrows, eyelids, and mouth movements. The result of this being that all characters have very little deviation between expressions when in different situations. With the lack of expression and the emphasis on talking, you at least think the lip syncing will be good, but it's not. Characters all share the same 4 or 5 frames of lip movement, making it seem as if he's simply playing the frames and repeat to simulate talking. It's funny because a review that, admittedly, Daff has disavowed showcases an artist that has better lip syncing than what's shown in Saturdays Off. Characters stick out on top of the backgrounds, looking as though they aren't supposed to be there. Lighting and shadows are non-existent. Characters simply glow or seemingly emit light, which contradicts background lighting. Overall, it's very clear that this is his first experience with rigging characters for animation, and it shows greatly in the small sections where we actually do see them walking, like in the short where the 2 characters talk in the park.
I think it's a case where he had this goal of wanting to use character animator and sort of learn it as he goes along. But if you're learning something like that, like rigging with models as you go along, you're going to start like the base of it is always making those models. So if you're going in with no experience and those are the models you're using throughout the entire process, then it's not going to look the best. I think like days before he finished, he uploaded it, he changed the arm animation on a lot of it just because he found out a more efficient way of doing that, and I appreciate that. He was always willing to like go back and change stuff or learn more things or take on feedback, because people did say like at first like, oh yeah, I don't like these character designs or whatever, and I saw him go back and try to fix it and change it.
Daff has opted for a sort of blend between chibi and andro characters, which makes for an unappealing art style. On top of the characters clashing with backgrounds, they also have very bad proportions, with their torsos being almost double the size of their legs, having no knees that I can see. This wouldn't be so bad if the world they lived in wasn't the same as our world. It makes no sense for characters to have to climb on the benches taller than they are. Why are the benches so tall if they are normal size in this universe? It just leaves more questions than answers. It makes it jarring when watching because it almost seems as though, from scene to scene, the characters change sizes. In one scene, a character will barely reach eye level with a chair, and in the next, it's their chest. Looking back on the animation, there is one specific scene where 2 characters are in a kitchen, and one is in a chair while the other is standing on the other side of the table. He isn't in a chair, but he is clearly taller than he is depicted in any other scene. It seems Daff has chosen to vary the sizes of characters to fit composition over actual continuity, which is funny, as he seems to critique others for the same in his reviews.
I think the issue is, again, in that they all just kind of look the same. They all look like they've been given the same body and leg base and just had a different head placed on them, except for the one I played.
Yeah.
Because my character's the best, obviously, but...
As I've said before, the backgrounds for Saturdays Off are drawn in a style that resembles real life. It seems that the backgrounds were commissioned and not thought out to fit the world that Daft has created with the characters, as they don't seem to hold the same proportions as the characters that inhabit it. Chairs and tables are huge examples of this, with characters standing smaller than the chair they're sitting on. There isn't much I can say about the backgrounds because they really aren't that bad. Lighting is natural, has a direction, and a source that can be traced. Shading as well, and colors work. It would be nice to see more movement happening in the backgrounds of some scenes, however. Lights flickering on in the office, a screensaver coming on because Michael doesn't use a computer, shadow over the window as birds pass by. Things that immerse the viewer more in the world. It don't take that much to do. Daft said he was using After Effects, so it's not hard to add dust in the air or a change in the computer here or there. The biggest example of wasted potential with the backgrounds is the drive-through scene. When characters are having a conversation, they're sitting at the ordering window when they should be one car back, waiting for someone else to order. It makes it seem as though the employee is waiting for his cue to start talking as they finish their conversation. I suppose I've stalled talking about the actual plot of the shorts for long enough. Saturdays Off is a original series of shorts created by DaftPina over the course of 2020, which showcases a week of our main character, Michael, doing things in his everyday life, joined by his roommate, Cairo, and other supporting casts. There isn't much of a story in regards of it being animated, as it's very down to earth, matching Daft's personality, in a sense with it being very bland and monotone in feel, as demonstrated with every character's very lifeless voices.
My big thing with it is that you can have these sort of home movie styled things where you're trying to make it sound really natural between the characters and it's very mellow, but you can't have every character be the mellow one, because at that point it just becomes boring and you're just like, even listening to myself in that, I'm like just completely droning on because the character I was given was very mellow like everyone else is.
The short can be compared to likes of animated sitcoms such as Family Guy or The Simpsons, which Daft seems to be very fond of by the looks of his Twitter and many references in his newer videos. It's clear where his inspirations came from, however.
So my thoughts on Saturdays Off would be that I appreciate it and admire what Daft was able to accomplish a lot more than I myself personally really like the show. I anything I could say is something that Daft already said. I think he released a video before he released the cartoon where he mentioned like the animation is stilted, the character dialogue could be a bit better. No matter what I say or no matter what criticisms I have for it, I still really admire the fact that Daft went out and did this, and that I could seeing the process of it step by step as he was doing it. I could really see the effort he put into this and how much he did care. Like, I saw a lot of people like, is this a joke, or did you just not care about this at all? Like, what are you doing here? But no, he did, and it's a cartoon that I appreciate a lot more than I myself find enjoyment from.
Starting off this outro, I'd like to do something in the same vein as Daft does in all of his reviews. Daft is a sort of connoisseur for art tablets. Every review he ends with a giveaway for an art tablet or a recommendation for one, so I like to do the same. This isn't a new tablet by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a tablet that works. It's a Huon H610. I have the box, have everything for it. But I would like to give this away as like sort of Christmas present to my viewers. I'm gonna have the links in the description below for this giveaway, so keep in mind that. I've known about DaftPina for about a couple years, and I saw his Hazmat Hotel and his Hell of a Boss videos, and the way he said it was wasted potential, and it kind of rubbed me the wrong way when he then puts out this. This video doesn't portray all the things that I had problems with in Saturdays Off. There's so many more things I could probably put right now as like a lightning round if I really wanted to, or not. My editor might cut this part. In closing, my final thoughts on Saturdays Off is that it's a very commendable effort done by DaftPina. He is a very talented individual I don't think animation is his forte. However, I do think cinematography and video editing is. I think if he wants to go into another project, and I think he says he wants to, I think he should get a co-writer and a bigger animation team for the future. And Daph, if you're watching this, which I think you will be, I like to say, I would like to personally congratulate you for finishing Saturdays off in the time that you did, and I wish you luck in your next project, whoever that may be. One final thing I'd like to add is that I got my friend Blabberduki, seen here, to do some redesigns of the characters. As you can see here, pretty good, right? Pretty good. This is Sonny signing out. Here are my bios. Oh,